You also, one of the biggest stories that was developing this offseason has been one Jarvis Landry. Media is in shock because Jarvis Landry is essentially what people would call in the industry that if you was doing regular print journalism, he's a whistleblower. Now, hold on. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Let me see something, okay? Let's see. Hold on. This gonna be good. Let me see. All right. Let me see. So here's how this works. Let me put this in here. Yeah, we're gonna get in the weeds a little bit. This is what I like to do. This is what I like to do. I like to be educational about it. Y'all thank you for bearing with me. Right? Let me take this down. Here we go. So this is a summary of what a whistleblower is. So whistleblowers are people that point out things, give you inside information about either corruption or things that go on an organization. And they come out and they tell their part. So this is what AI has told us we should take in mind when it comes to a whistleblower. So journalists should approach whistleblowers' claims with a critical yet open mindset. While whistleblowers often provide vital information about wrongdoing, their motivations and the accuracy of their claims must be carefully assessed. Verification is key. Journalists should corroborate the information provided by whistleblowers through independent sources or documents. This helps ensure credibility of the claims being made. So here's what I would say. I would say, and this is my commentary on the whole situation. This has nothing, let me throw this out here. This has nothing per se to do with Mary Kay or Jarvis Landry or any other independent journalist. This has to do with G. Bush approaching the overall way that we go about covering these stories, talking about it in the ins and outs of it. So as you can see, we just doing it. This is educational purposes. What we're trying to show you where we went wrong in this case so we can break it down over here. So this verification is key. So you need some other stuff to corroborate it, right? So if Jarvis Landry said this, okay, Jarvis Landry said it, and I wanted to get down to the truth, I would go speak to people who played on the same team as Jarvis, same locker room, same receiving room. Yeah, that's very easy to do. You can get down to the nitty gritty of that, right? Probably sure you can figure out if he said Gabriel the play calling, we can figure it out, right? Understanding motivations. Whistleblowers may have various motivations, including personal grievances or genuine desire to expose wrongdoing. Understanding these motivations can help journalists evaluate the reliability of the information. Well, let's bring this into key point and key focus because we're going to play it and then we're going to come back to this. Remind these things, right? Legal considerations. Journalists must be aware of the legal implications of reporting on a whistleblower disclosures, especially if sensitive information is involved. Protecting the identity of the whistleblower is crucial to avoid potential legal. In this case, that doesn't matter, and we ain't talking about nothing. We just talk about what happened with play calling. But in this case, Jarvis Landry puts his name on it. He comes out and says, "I said it," which is crazy because he's a team leader. He was one of the team leaders on that team. He's been reputable for years. He ain't talking out of turn and speaking nowhere. And he was in the locker room. He put his name and face to it. That's hard to refute. It's hard. That's tough. Ethical responsibility, maintaining confidentiality and respecting whistleblower safety. That's the part. The legal considerations and the ethical responsibility is out the window because he put his name to it. He said, "I seen it. I know for 100%. We'll come back to this. Remember these. I'll show you the videos that back up what I'm saying. Let's go.
2-time coach of the year. Maybe he got it because he was coaching the Cleveland Browns.
His first year he came in.
Yeah.
We made some noise.
Yeah.
Obviously, the years before we hadn't had no success at all. So
now watch this. He says he came in. We made some noise. Before we got there, we didn't have no success. So he's giving him his flowers for turning it around. He's saying we was garbage before we got here. He just keeping it cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
You know, it was. I do think it was fitting and well deserved. I know when I was there for 100%.
He said it was fitting and well deserved. So he's giving him credit for his coach of the year. He's saying, all right, I give him. We turned it around. Now watch where he goes next.
I know when I was there for 100% fact, when we were struggling as an offense, I know Kevin Stefanski himself gave up play calling to AVP. The same thing that he's done, that we have guys that have told us that he's done throughout the years of not being able to get it done as a play caller and then putting it off on somebody else. Then the team gets success and then he takes over play calling again. I don't know how much history he's going to have as a head coach. But again, with this record, only thing he really got going for him is those 2-time Coach of the Year.
So you heard what he said, right? You heard what he said. This was a rebuttal. Now, Mary Kay came out and she was talking about this. This was a rebuttal. And to see what Jarvis said. Nobody else, to this point, a lot of the local media hadn't said nothing about this. I hadn't heard Tony. I haven't heard. We spoke about it on UCSS, and Jason Lloyd said he not calling Jarvis a liar. He just said, you know, I'm kind of surprised it didn't get out.
Saying that Kevin Stefanski, unbeknownst to anyone in Cleveland at the time, turned play calling over to Alex Van Pelt, but that did not happen. He did not turn play calling over to Alex Van Pelt. Just not true. It's just misinformation that is circulating. I mean, we were there. We covered the team back then. We watched. We know who was calling the plays. And if it had happened, then Kevin Stefanski would have said, I'm turning the play calling over to Alex Van Pelt.
Now, that's a very strong rebuttal. That's a very strong rebuttal. I don't got a dog in the fight. I'm not saying one person's lying, one person telling the truth, but we just got to get down to the nitty gritty and let's go ahead and analyze this. Now, remember, that's what was said, right? Now, let me get to this. Now, where is that? Here we go. That's what was said. Now, when we go back to our situation, we say, what motivation does the person have? Now, 2 other NFL players, one in Joe Hayden, that played in Cleveland, had a rebuttal to this and saying, hey, look, we ain't even tripping on that. What are you talking about? Jarvis ain't got no reason to lie.
Jarvis don't got no reason to lie. He's going to be honest. And that's the one thing you're going to get from him. He's not going to just bash nobody or say nothing for no reason. He's not going to make something up. He's just talking honest. And that's when things just people like, why would you say, I'm not going to sit there and talk about my coach's relationship while I'm on the team. This is in real time happening. No, like I'm a professional. I'm going to keep it as professional as possible while I'm playing. Once you're retired, once you're out of the game and you ask me an honest question, now I can give you my honest answer.
No one is going to tell the whole and complete truth about what's going on at an organization while they're playing.
Yes.
For them to, come out and say something afterwards, now everybody questions it because they're like, well, why didn't you say something before? Because like he was here, we're not going to do anything that's going to be more detrimental to our team. It's been that way and it's going to stay that way.
Again, let me show y'all. Let me show you. Now, hold on. Oh, hey, listen, 1 second. Let me listen. I think it might be 2,179 people wherever you at. Please hit the like button because this is a stew. That's 2 people. Mind you, one of them played for this. Both of them played for the Steelers, arch nemesis. Now that's 4 players. 4 players. Y'all want to add some more? Y'all want to keep it going? Yeah, I think y'all want to keep it going. Let's get to this one. Now, think about this way. You got Cleveland Browns Ring of Fame people talking about it now.
Said at the top. I told Stefanski
right?
that my problem with Stefanski was the hierarchy. As for players, men need to be led. Football is the biggest team sport.
I always felt like Stefanski was a pushover.
I need to be in my team-issued gear for walkthrough. Not in thong flip-flops. I went out there for alumni. You don't remember alumni?
Or nothing.
Or nothing. They was out there, young guys, in thong flip-flops. And they called their coach, Kevin. Jarvis said something about Stefanski.
Now, that doesn't surprise me because
I knew it.
But we've seen it happen.
I knew it. He stated a fact.
Stefanski, when it get hot in that kitchen, Stefanski going to get out.
He's the first one out.
He's the first one out.
So that's 1, 2. That's Phil Taylor, first round pick of the Cleveland Browns. That's Hanford Dixon, who created the dog pound. Hold on. Bring it back. Rewind that. That's Hanford Dixon on the far right. He created the dog pound. It can't get no more dog pound credible than him. And Josh Cribbs, who is one of the best football players to play for the Cleveland Browns. Local kid, went to Kent State. You got 3 people up here. Joe Hayden in the last one was drafted by the Cleveland Browns, right? Jarvis Landry, You done got 7 players up here, right? Continue to let them cook. 7 players up here. Watch this. And bring it back. No, you're going to have to do this again. What do you say? No, I'm not even going to stop him.
The culture is set at the top. I told Stefanski that. My problem with Stefanski was the hierarchy. As for players, men need to be led. Football is the biggest team sport.
I always felt like Stefanski was a pushover.
I need to be in my team-issued gear for walkthrough. Not in thong flip-flops. I went out there for alumni. You don't remember alumni?
Or nothing.
Or nothing. They was out there, young guys, in thong flip-flops. And they called their coach, Kevin. Jarvis said something about Stefanski.
Now, that doesn't surprise me because
I knew it.
But we've seen it happen.
I knew it. He stated the fact.
Stefanski, when it get hot in that kitchen, Stefanski gonna get out.
He's the first one out.
He's the first one out. Just like it's proven a couple times with the play calling. When it gets hot, things are not working out. He's gonna hand it off to somebody else.
You let it get smoky in there, but when it get a little too hot,
boy. Oh my God. This is very problematic. Let me just goes to show you. Let me just show you. I'm gonna weave this together. Boy. Let me ask y'all something. Let me figure this out. We working on it here. Let's see. Let me see where it's at. They spilling the TG. Let me just show y'all something real quick though. They said that this is happening right now. So when you talk about sources and how you moving, I'm going to show y'all something very funny.
Garrett, came out about a few hours ago and said something in the press that I thought was really eye-opening. Came out and basically said that the Cleveland Browns haven't had the focus and attention to detail that he's liked coming out of a bye week.
Stakes in this game. Did you see that attention to detail that you guys have been talking about for a while?
Not as much as I wanted to, but we still got another 2 days. Guys will sharpen up. And we got leaders on this team who will make them, get prepared and get ready for Sunday because, it's not end all be all today. But when the time comes, I need everybody, on their P's and Q's and ready because to want to go home right now.
So when you hear things like this, players are not just saying this.
Is that somewhat disappointing?
I mean, I'm not going to sulk or sing my head. I mean, guys go about things differently, and it's not only on. Us as players, as coaches, it's everyone, having a focus on the task at hand. And I think we all have to look in the mirror and say, obviously, if we don't win this one, there won't be any postseason for us.
What Myles Garrett is doing, he's sending warning shots. Myles Garrett has always been doing this. He's been doing this this whole year. He's done it in terms of calling out the coaching staff as far as the
This is 4 years ago. 4. This is 4 years ago. 4. So when they was getting information from Kevin, maybe I knew a little something 4 years ago. Maybe for a player. 4. Matter of fact, we'll continue to go. I'll show you.
Defensive coordinators and Joe Woods. He's done it in terms of saying that he did not back the move and get and to trade or cut or release Odell Beckham Jr. He's talked about it, that the team does not make adjustments. He's been systematically dropping little small breadcrumbs throughout throughout the entire year. He's been doing this to show you I'm not excited. I'm not happy. I'm not content. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of salty. I really don't like what's going on here right now. And a lot of people in the media is not catching on to this.
You say
because
what, young boy? What you say, young G. Bush? 4 years ago. What you just say? So what you say?
I really don't like what's going on here right now. And a lot of people in the media is not catching on to this because one of the things that we've been seeing so far throughout this season is the entire season has become a test for Baker Mayfield.
Their problem and their blind spot is instead of talking about what's going on and getting what you need to get, you sitting here talking about quarterback. Every single in the world turns. Like the sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives. Bold and the beautiful. You still running around trying to catch ridge. Where's Victor Newman at? Huh? What about Marlena and Bo? You guys have been doing this tabloid stuff for years. That's what happens. And you miss right what's in front of your face. What do we say?
This is what the season has boiled down to. The Cleveland Browns are 6-6. Yes, Baker Mayfield is the quarterback. Yes, he's their number 1 overall pick. But you also have to understand that there's multiple other number 1 picks in that room. And the only thing that you're thinking about is, oh, Myles Garrett will be fine. It's ups and downs and losing. He'll be fine. Until he's not. Oh, yeah, Nick Chubb is cool. Kareem Hunt, he'll be here forever. Chubb is here forever. We got receiver. Those guys, Antonio, Treader, those guys. You know our offensive linemen, they're over 30. I'm not about to sit around here and take L's for the next 3 years. Stefanski's lost a large group of vets.
What you say? Who is this young man? Who is this oracle? Who's the 4 year? Let me just show you. I just want to show you. This ain't, hold on. No, I got to give you visual. When did this, let me give you, I want to give you now. I'm going to continue to let me cook. Previous me, let me cook.
Because there's no way that somebody should be saying this off a bye week. This is like, you've been going.
Stefanski has lost a large group of vets. See, you thought I wasn't going to get y'all, didn't y'all? You thought I was going to let you slide. Remember a little earlier last year? Remember last year when y'all was telling me, when I said people in the locker room were saying that they wanted Shedeur Sanders to play, and people around the locker room were saying little things, and you folks jumped out the roof and acted like, well, he ain't talking to nobody. He ain't got no sources. He ain't speaking to nobody. Who is this guy? You had the people coming up trying to co-sign a move, talk about, well, I know G. Bush be talking to some people. Like, I don't know why y'all would be questioning him. You thought I was going to let that roll, didn't I? See, I've been waiting on this info. I've been posted on the corner with this information for weeks. Y'all going to learn. You see, this video was taken 4 years ago. I wasn't on UCS, nothing. That show didn't exist.
For like 5 to 7 days. You ain't even been here. Like, you've been off in Arizona, you've been off in different other places, and usually a bye week gets people's mind off the game. It regenerates them. They spend time with their family, maybe hang out with their kids. Maybe, some of the bumps and bruises go away because they're getting treatment. They're not tackling people. They go to warmer other cities. They kind of forget about some of the stuff that was plaguing them, a couple weeks ago. Now, all of a sudden, guess what? You come right back and be like, yeah, man, I don't like to focus these last couple days. You like, well, what the heck was y'all doing? Why wouldn't you not be focused? And that just goes to show you that's not a knock about the players. When you say they're not focused, the general gets you focused. The general motivates you. The general, the leader of men, is the person he deals with the emotional aspects of the game. When you're talking about the great generals, when you're talking about Hannibal, when you talk about Caesar, when you talk about Patton, when you talk about some of the great, even Pompey, he was a great general. When you talk about Alexander the Great, when you talk about some of the great generals, they not only knew X's and O's, they were not only great tacticians in the field of battle, they were not only great strategists, they not only could make adjustments on the fly under life and death circumstances. Let me move my flank over here. Up my infantry and cavalry, where I'm going to put them at, where I'm put my archers at. These are all things that are important. But the most important thing that these generals did was they always had the pulse of the morale of their troops. They always understood that there were certain things that they had to do in order to keep people buying into them as a leader. As a leader, you have to have conviction when you speak. You got to understand that. And one of the things that Kevin Stefanski, when he comes in these press conferences and he's taking these L's like this does not project that you have a solution to the problem. This doesn't project you coming from a position of power. This does not project to your soldiers, yes, we took an L today, but I know exactly what we're going to do, how we're going to fix it, and then next week we're going to make sure that this never happens again. Does this sound like a guy that you think knows what the issue is?
Credit to Baltimore. They did a good job. They got, they beat us, and then we got to get to this bye week and fix some things, get healthy, unplug for a minute, and then we got Baltimore again in a stretch run.
Does that sound like a general that understands why his team, why his soldiers are taking L's on a weekly basis?
Yeah, it's frustrating. It is very frustrating to not score enough, and it's always a combination of things. It's staying on the field on third down. It's trying to run the ball effectively, get into the red zone, all those things. But we're just not doing a good enough job, and that starts with me.
Does that seem like a general, a leader, a coach that understands that this is something that I need to get my head around? I need to speak concisely. I need to speak in a way that I project power, and that this is not acceptable?
I think they played how they play. That's certainly how they play, and we just didn't run it efficiently enough. It felt like we did, Tony. I think we ended up with 17 rushes there, not for a great average, but we just didn't do anything well enough.
No, it doesn't.
I would tell you, our run game has been very good, and we've run against a lot, loaded boxes like that. So I think as a run offense, we expect to do better than that, and we'll look at how we can.
You say the same thing over and over again.
Well, I think, we all are very frustrated. It stings. Some really good things. I thought, the defense taking the ball away 4 times, but then we get no points off of it. So bottom line is we'll come in and we'll look at it, we'll learn from it, and then we got to get ready for a stretch run.
So then you got players who smell the blood in the water. They look around like, bro, this dude, that plan don't even sound that great. Now juxtapose what Stefanski does to what Mike Tomlin did and losing on a nationally televised game to the Minnesota Vikings.
Just to be blunt, man, we're getting handled up front on both sides of the ball, and that makes it difficult. It makes it difficult to do what we desire to do. It makes it difficult to maintain balance. It makes it difficult to dictate to our opponents, what happens or what happens next. And
do you see the difference in the directness?
We're not good in that area. We were JV again tonight, and I'm talking about up front on both sides. We lost the battle in the line of scrimmages, and that's football. We make no excuse. It is what it is. We'll turn over every stone to do that. We got a long week coming up between this and our next one. We'll make good use of that time and assess not only what we're doing, but who we're doing it with.
In which he's talking to people. Do you see that? Do you see that?
We stayed in the fight, but they're up 29 damn points at halftime. So I'm not going to make it more complex than what it is. Football is a complex yet simple game. You got to whoop blocks, you got to make tackles, you got to sustain blocks, you got to make sure your power is falling in the right direction. We're not doing those things. We're not doing those things nearly consistently enough to hang our hat and find the type of footing to have consistency in performance.
To be a general, you must have conviction, and you must convey conviction when you speak in a win or a loss.
Man, we're not whooping enough tail, We're not striking enough. We're not making the power fall the right direction enough. And so I'd be remiss. I'd be doing that group a disservice if I didn't look at all options.
In that loss, listen to the way Mike Tomlin talks about it.
A coach hadn't made a play, sustained a block, made a tackle, and I know I hadn't in a long time.
Listen to the way he never wavers. He says it's not good enough, and he calls names.
We will not be bashful about turning the stones over.
And he calls names. You got to. Sometimes people thinking like, oh, you can't call people out. You can't call people out in the media. That's a bad thing. You guys must not be understanding the great generals and the great motivators in the history of this world.
But where we at? We back. Let me tell you this. As you can see, why am I small? Oh, no, stop playing around, bro. Nope. Did you just disappear? Where we at? Hold on. Here we go. Boom. Shout out. Listen, like it's kind of crazy because what I want to show y'all is, I was gonna catch y'all, right? I'm gonna catch y'all, right? Let me get my stuff. Let me take this down. You see what that say, right? That excerpt was from Frustrating is Setting In from Myles Garrett. It's Kevin Stefanski losing the locker room. This 4 years ago. This 4 years ago, bro. See, the problem is people started to take Remember, it all boils down, it goes back into one. Remember what I told you. When you getting spoon-fed, you develop blind spots. Because if people would have been talking to Jarvis or Josh Cribbs or Phil Taylor or Hanford Dixon or Joe Hayden or James Harrison or Leonard Fournette, you would have been able to run that by them and be like, well, let me juxtapose what they saying based on what other things is saying, right? And when you talk about this, remember, I told you we was going to go back to it. You should approach whistleblower claims with a critical yet open mindset. Critical but open. They provide vital information about wrongdoing. The motivations and the accuracy of the claims must be carefully assessed. Journalists should corroborate the information provided by whistleblowers through independent sources and documents. Go talk to some people that was with Jarvis, right? Whistleblowers may have various motivations, including personal grievances or genuine desire to expose wrongdoing. Understanding these motivations can help journalists evaluate the reliability. Joe Hayden said it. He said, why would Jarvis lie? And the motivations for players are, if you're still trying to play football, nobody's going to come back and say anything against the coach and then not have an opportunity to get a job. That's just not going to happen. They eloquently pointed that out, right? I keep telling them like this. I keep letting them know. When you break it down and you see it, this is 4 years ago. So for all of the haters that ask me, well, what does he know? What does he know? Oh, because I wear fancy clothes and I like to joke around a little bit. I don't really like to say this, but your boy was plugged in weeks ago. But one hand don't tell the other hand what they doing. Real G's move in silence. We move in silence. I ain't got to tell you everybody I talk to, but the receipts do not lie. Mind you, this is in the midst of the Browns playing well. You see how long? See, the problem that we have here is this. We're going to bring it back and bring it all back in full circle. Here's the problem, and I talked about this when I had a conversation before.
Is saying that Kevin Stefanski, unbeknownst to anyone in Cleveland at the time, turned play calling over to Alex Van Pelt, but that did not happen. He did not turn play calling over to Alex Van Pelt. Just not true. It's just misinformation that is circulating. I mean, we were there. We covered the team back then. We watched. We know who was calling the plays. And if it had happened, then Kevin Stefanski would have said, I'm turning the play calling over to Alex Van Pelt.
Here's the only problem I got with it. I'm not saying Mary Kay ain't in the building. I ain't saying that she not plugged in. All I'm saying is, and this is the thing I said before, I had a conversation with Tyvis. We was talking. I had a conversation with everybody. I had a conversation on UCSS. So anything that I'm saying is not, anything that I am saying right now is verifiable that I said that I don't say in public. I said the problem with that premise is this. The last part of what you said was if it would have happened, then Kevin Stefanski would have told us. Why do you think that? Why do you take the next leap of faith to say that he's going to tell you everything that happens inside the organization? We know that not to be true. As a matter of fact, nobody tells the whole 1,000% true. Why would he give the media everything? Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear is what I grew up on. Like you place a large amount of faith in people telling you things when you should say, okay, Kevin Stefanski is telling me things, right? Why? What does Kevin get out of it? What's in it for him and what's in it for me? And how much of what I just got can I really parse with? That's the part I sat up there and I talked to Jason about it. I said, listen, man. No, actually, he wasn't there. It was Bull. I said, Bull. He's like, are you saying Jason is lying? I said, no. I said, do I believe that people told him? Yeah. But the problem is when you go and you believe everything without doing any other digging around it from independent sources, from anybody that gives you some information, there's another side of it. And here's the thing that I would have. Instead of me doing that, I would have did this. I would have wanted to go have a conversation with Jarvis Landry. Because one of the things that's very hard to refute is Jarvis Landry is in the meeting room. Jarvis Landry is with them coaches when you ain't. They with the coaches during practice when you not. They are there when the game plan is put in a week. They are there with the players. The players know. The problem, and this goes to the heart of what we are talking about. Zone in, zone in. I need everybody to come, bring it closer. This is a larger theme that I've been talking about since day one. It goes to the intent and the heart of the question of information, how we go about getting our information and talking about football and the team. It has gotten to a point where people really do believe that they know more than the players. They believe that they are more plugged in than the players that are playing. How? How could you be more plugged in to the person that the attraction is based on? Remember, I always tell myself, I am a guest in the game. I don't play. I'm a guest. We cover the sport, somebody else is going to cover it. But we've gotten to the point now where we've elevated the word. We've elevated the credibility. We've elevated the opinion. We've elevated everything about the media, and we've devalued what the actual player says. There's no way. Let me just tell you this. There is no way that anybody on the outside can be on the inside more than the players, because there's things players will never tell you. There are things culturally a player will never say to you. You will never get that real. You will never get that. Bro, you can't even, you got to understand, some of these players come from a whole different world. You think you about to get that? And the blind spot is you got players out here that come from a different world, talk a different language. Their parent structure is different. Their economic background is different. How they viewed by law enforcement is different. How they viewed at the airport is different. How they viewed in the media is different. How they look is different. When they go want to get a loan, it's different. When you walk down the street, it's different. It's all different. The problem is you've discounted that difference, and now there's a huge blind spot, and you're confused as to why we played the thing with Ken and Jason. Jason said, I've never seen in 25 years the perception of what outside the building is and what the inside of the building. Yeah, because if you listen to these guys, they was telling you. If you would listen, they were telling you, but you didn't listen. You only listened to who you identified. They told you right here they ain't never gonna tell you because they don't trust what you're gonna tell them because they told you.
Jarvis don't got no reason to lie. He's going to be honest. And that's the one thing you're going to get from him. He's not going to just bash nobody or say nothing for no reason. He's not going to make something up. He's just talking honest. And that's when things just, people like, why would you say, I'm not going to sit there and talk about my coach's relationship while I'm on the team. This is in real time happening. No, like, I'm a professional. I'm going to keep it as professional as possible while I'm playing. Once you're retired, once you're out of the game and you ask me an honest question, now I can give you my honest answer.
No one is going to tell the whole and complete truth about what's going on at an organization while they're playing.
Yes.
Okay. For them to, come out and say something afterwards, now everybody questions it because they're like, well, why didn't you say something before? Because like he was here, we're not going to do anything that's going to be more detrimental to our team. Yeah. It's been that way and it's going to stay that way.
Yeah, because we in a sport of football where you can get cut, traded, and not picked up for doing everything, including kneeling. Oh, see, this is, I didn't mean to go that route. I didn't even mean to they done got folks up out of here. They got folks up out of here for kneeling. And you talk about why didn't they say that before? Huh? Why you think I'm on the internet? I talk too much truth. They ain't giving you no job. You think they about to open the airwaves up for this? For this? Can you imagine how this go over on national airwaves? This man done said it, didn't he? Talk about why he didn't say it. The same reason Odell Beckham Jr. ain't here. Same reason they cut Nick Chubb when he wasn't good enough no more. Nick Chubb is great. Yeah, get him up out of here. You know how this game works. The same reason Brian Flores ain't got no job right now, and he done told them that and then you wonder why. Ain't nobody talking to y'all. You think these two fellas with sunglasses on they ain't telling you nothing. Huh? You think this is the first time these is Browns people? Listen, you think that they ain't been talking like this before?
I told Stefanski that. My problem with Stefanski was the hierarchy. For players, need to be led. Football is the biggest team sport.
I always felt like Stefanski was a pushover.
You didn't ask these folks this question. You didn't ask them? See, the problem was the blind spot was this. I was hearing this stuff 4 years ago. Don't it sound like I kind of might have been talking to some folks and they've been telling me about Stefanski for about 4 or 5 years now. Don't it seem like we just kind of had the same ideals? I didn't get it from the sky. They just, maybe it's just little OG Bush. I don't want to do too much. I just want to just let y'all know. We didn't mean to get off on that tangent. I'm sorry, Rosie, my producer. She's like, man, you're doing too much today. I thought we was moving forward. I said, no, I was just letting them know. It came out. I'm just letting them know. Yeah, we working with this. So as we talk through this, let me put this up. Let me just throw this up real quick, a little disclaimer. As we talk through this, I'm changing out my battery right now. So we'll see if we can get that changed out. But here's the thing. Let me tell you this. I just always think it's hilarious that this is the way it goes down with the Cleveland Browns. It's just one of those things where it's just always something. The shoe is always one shoe that's ready to drop. And I think the Browns media at this point, and again, so if y'all want to show something, I always tell you, I ain't talking about nobody specific. I'm just talking about the media in general. The media in general. I didn't say it. Like Josh Cribbs and Hanford Dixon is the OGs of the dog pound. You can't see, that's the thing. You can't discredit everybody. It's Josh. What are you talking? These folks is, first of all, they rich. They already got the clout. You know what I'm saying? Like, and for me, even if I didn't believe Jarvis Landry, I can't even say that. You know why? He's there. He's there. He's in the mix of it. We've gotten to the point where we got to rethink some things. We got to bring that back. We got to bring this back. And we have to start telling ourselves that just because you can write about something or just because you got a microphone like this does not mean what you're doing is elevating or is bigger than nobody is bigger than the program. We all serve a part. We all serve a portion. The media does a great job. And I'm not saying I'm not going on a war of vengeance plan against the media. Mind you, I'm part of the media. So I don't got I'm talking about the profession I'm in. We're a vital part of it. But we also got to remind ourselves we are never bigger than it. We are never higher than it. Our opinions aren't elevated higher than it. So there's a lot of times, and this is for, and I'm going to speak to the people that want to get in the game. Always remember, sometimes it's going to be times where you arguing with somebody. And let me just give y'all this heads up. See, the Lord, he'll put you somewhere. What God does is he tests you. A lot of people say, man, I be arguing all the time with a lot of people on the internet. God tests you, right? He only going to give you as much as you can handle. And sometimes he want to see how you handle a gift or handle information. Think about it. Out of all the times that I've been arguing about all kind of things, whether it's Deshaun Watson, Baker Mayfield, Shedeur Sanders, out of all the times that I've been arguing back and forth with people, you tell me one time that I've brought up a source. Nope. Sometimes them receipts be sitting for 4 years, don't they? Sometimes sometimes it's going to be delayed. And every time you get in an argument, it ain't the time to bring up the receipts. But what I did and what you continue to do is you let your own work speak for it. You let your own research speak for it. You don't let nobody else say, I'm going to believe in this, and that. No, you do your work. You watch these videos and you continue to put out what you believe to be truthful. And then when they doubt you and they say you're crazy or you're a lunatic, then you come back and you show them, this is what I said then. Let me show you what I've been knew back then. And every time I've been knew what I've been back then, did I come out and say X, Y, and Z? This person is fraudulent because they don't. I know for a fact. I told this person. I wasn't chatty patty about it. I just tucked it right on in till the time was right. All first verse. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It is what it is. We're gonna be announcing some sponsorships coming down. If you're a business and you want to advertise on the show, we really trying to level it up. First and foremost, when we do things, we want to make sure that we can do something that is conducive to businesses that we believe in, that's trying to do some good work out here, reputable, but we want to bring value to your business. I ain't up here just reading nothing just to read it. I want to bring value. I want to bring something, some awareness and light to your business. So if you're interested, we got some partnerships coming up. One of our partnerships that we already got going, we we got some things going over here is, yeah, you see it, Phenomenal Barbershop, where I get cut up at, looking crispy with the waves. Call my man Jason to book an appointment, 216-385-8861, 216-385-8861, Phenomenal Barbershop. You see it, G. Bush got him right there. He's doing some great things. They putting in 7 or 8 new booths, complete beauty salon back there. Done the renovation. Shout out to him. I've been going to him for about 4 years. You're going to see some collaborations with Jason as well. We got some other things coming on the pipeline. So if you're interested, hit us up, fifthdimensionmedia1@gmail.com. With that being said, you never know when G. Bush might show up, radio, television, internet, but you want the fresh cut on sports, I keep the Clippers with me. Have a great rest of your evening. And you know how I end the show. It's always Go Brown.